had too little information to make any concrete plans, and the final conclusion was that they had to go with the flow. The youth in white armor who had been listening quietly thus far suddenly broke his silence. "Forgive me, princess, what is it?" "I know another person who could become an arrow for this formation. He is a man with overwhelming fighting power. Would it be all right to ask for his aid? One arrow is good, but two would be better, and if they helped each other, I am sure they could defeat any demon that showed itself, no matter how powerful it was." "What's this, Climb? Are you saying the Mamansama I recommended isn't enough?" Evil Eye's words had a razor-sharp edge to them. Climb's eyes trembled with fear. No, of course not. That was never my intention. Mamansama is the strongest warrior in existence. I dare say that rather than helping him, the man you recommended would be nothing more than a handicap. The katana-wielding warrior, Brain, stepped in to defend Climb. That might not be so. I too have seen the person Climb speaks of. His strength is extraordinary. He felled 0, strongest of the 6 arms, in one blow. You are Brain Unglaus? The one who serves Her Highness on the recommendation of Gazef Stronov and Climb. I'm Gazef's subordinate, but before I am officially sworn in, I stay by the princess side. I know you're much stronger than Climb, but even that isn't a guarantee of the man's strength. And besides, didn't you lose to that old hag? Era, didn't you lose to her too? My apologies, Unglaus-san. You, Evil Eye whimpered as Locyus scolded her. It wasn't just her, you all were there too. After you lost, you said you lost to Rigret, not the rest of us. You still remember that, Tina? Between the laughing Tina and the crying Evil Eye, the mood in the room had lightened up considerably. At this point, Ains asked a question. He sounds very interesting. What kind of person is he? Climb proudly stated the man's name. His name is Sebas. Sebeth? The name sounded familiar to Ains. Was it merely a coincidence? What kind of person is he? After Climb's explanation, Ains nodded. Isn't that Sebas himself? How had he come into contact with Climb? What kind of relationship did they have? Was Climb one of Sebas' contacts? Ains had only skimmed the reports Sebas submitted, and he had not bothered to remember any of the people he mentioned. It couldn't be helped, I was too busy. Ains' anxiety only grew as he made that flimsy excuse to himself. In any case, this boy was a valuable contact that Sebas had made. If he were disposed of too early, it would be a waste of Sebas' hard work. And carelessly casting away the work of one's underlings was something a superior should avoid at all costs. It would be better to aid this boy here, and indirectly praise Sebas. More importantly, I don't think he was mentioned in the report, was he? I hope that wasn't the case. I have not done battle with this Sebas before, so I cannot say which of us would be stronger. Of course Maman N is stronger than him. Narbril stated in a voice brimming with confidence. Evil Eye quietly nodded in agreement. Ains could not help but knuckle Narbril on the head. Well, if my companion says so, then there must be some truth to the observations of both sides. I believe he should be able to stand on equal footing with me. That was a surprisingly mature response. Unlike my companion, not only is her height weird, but her personality's weird too. From just now, all right, let's not embarrass our friends in public. That's an order from the party leader. If there's nothing else to discuss, why don't we go pay Tia and Gagrin a visit? Sounds like a plan. The two of them had died and been revived. Regretfully, he had not seen the resurrection itself, he had heard all about it from others. Speaking of which, is it possible to use the dark energy to attack demons and the like? Dark energy? Evil Eye's unexpected question drew a surprised response from Locyus. She seemed to find the concept unthinkable. I heard from Gagarin that if you released the full power of the demonic sword Kiliniram, it could swallow up the entire country. Locyus' eyes went wide. That can wait till later. We've got other things to discuss, right? A demonic sword? Hang on, I think I've heard of this weapon before, not in Yggdrasil, but this world, got it. From Ninja. The demonic sword Kiliniram, said to be able to release dark energy. Although, an entire country? It sounds like an exaggeration, but it might have a power that comes close enough. Ains concluded that her red face was caused by anger and panic that her own trump card had been suddenly revealed. Just as everyone's attention turned to Lokyu's, there was a knocking on the door, and two men entered shortly after. Oni-sama and Marquis Raven. Everyone bowed their heads in respect upon hearing Renner's words. This was the second time Ains had met these two men. The first time was not long ago, when they had entered the capital. They had changed the terms of the quest he had been hired for. Instead of the 8 fingers, he would be fighting against Jaldabaoth, and he would be working together with the gathered adventurers of the capital. After the simple greeting, Ains and the others were about to step outside, because the princess wanted to address the two nobles. Most of the details of the battle plan had already been decided. Searching for sagas had been abandoned due to a lack of time and manpower. All that was left was to wait for on-site orders. Then, everyone, I beseech all the gods to allow everyone here to come back alive and victorious. Our hopes rest on all of you, or rather, on Maman-san. May fortune favor you. After listening to Renner pray with her head bowed low, Ains and the others quietly exited the room. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. The only ones left were Raven, and the second prince, Zanuck Valurian Agana Rylvazelf, and Renner. The moment Climb left the room, Renner's expression changed, her blue eyes freezing over like a lake in winter. Zanuck shivered as he watched the change in her. We overheard the details in the secret room. That room was designed for eavesdropping, and the two of them had been listening from in there. There's one question you didn't answer. Why did you have to form the guards up into a battle line? Are they stepping stones? Guards were very weak. Even the lowliest of adventurers was more than a match for them. If they were attacked, they would certainly be massacred. Bait. That word was what they had expected. The adventurers said so too. Jaldabaoth's army of low-ranked demons cannot be allowed to run free in the capital. Therefore, we have prepared a feeding ground for them where they will gather to feast. If they gorge themselves on the guards staked out as bait for them, their bloodlust will be dulled, no? Renner smiled. It was almost impossible to settle things with fancy words and high-sounding ideals in this world. Everything one did had a price. Nobody understood that more clearly than the ones in power, whose responsibility was to limit the necessary sacrifices as much as possible. From that point of view, Renner was the ideal bureaucrat. However, humans were creatures of emotion, and the emotion they would feel when hearing of this plan was revulsion. Surely there must be a better way? Some way that doesn't involve sacrificing all the guards? If there were, surely you would have mentioned it by now, would you not, Oni-sama? Zanuck fell silent. It was true, he did not have a better plan than Renner's. He had ideas, certainly, but they were either impractical or impossible with the resources available. At the moment, all he could do was acknowledge that Renner's plan was the best of a bad lot. Raven shifted his gaze from the prince when he quieted himself, and then he voiced his own objections. Then, permit me to seek clarification. Why give Climb such a dangerous task? For the same reason why Oni-sama and Marquis Raven's men are patrolling the city. Zanuck had been making his rounds in the royal capital, putting on the act of the prince who cared for his people. After that, he had also begun spreading the rumors that the crown prince had been hiding in the safety of the royal palace. This would make himself look good and diminish his brother, who was his rival. Did that mean Renner was doing the same thing? Sending her subordinate on a dangerous mission of mercy in order to make herself look good? But then, when one thought about how Renner had revealed her obsession over Climb yesterday, something was definitely wrong here. Sensing his doubt, Renner carried on. Of course, Climb has a chance of dying. In that event, Lokyu's will use a resurrection spell on him. It won't be cheap, of course, but an expense like that won't be a problem. And after he's been resurrected, Climb will be weakened from a loss of life energy. During that time, I will take care of him. I'm sure nobody will object to me caring for a person who died and was resurrected for following my orders. I see. Thank you for saying so. However, isn't there a chance Locke's might die as well? That is a valid concern, Renner said to Raven, whose head was lowered. But one that has been planned for. During the dangerous period of the sortie, there will be additional people in place to protect her. The Guildmaster does not want a person who can resurrect the dead to be killed, so she agreed without hesitation. It seems everything is within your calculations, little sister. Yes, his sister answered, with a smile as beautiful as a blossoming flower. Zanuck shivered all over, and beside him, Raven also fought to suppress the chill which ran down his spine. Clone. New paste. Few persons can be made to believe that it is not quite an easy thing to invent a method of secret writing which shall baffle investigation. Yet it may be roundly asserted that human ingenuity cannot concoct a cipher which human ingenuity cannot resolve. Edgar Allan Poe. 185,345 pastes opened. Based on an original idea from sebsavage.net. Sam and Max.